Hello everybody, today I'm sharing with you a journal I've made. It's been quite some time since I've made a book style journal, so I thought I would make one and showcase some of the dies that I received recently from In Love Art store on the internet, and I will put a link to the video where I showed the dies that they sent me in the description box below together with their store. I have used the Stamperia paper collection called Atelier, and I've used that for the cover all the way around, just some zigzag stitching and some, I think, like a muslin cotton fabric sandwiched in between. I've used a rounded spine on this. There are 5 signatures, 2 inserts, and I think there's approximately around 145 to 150 pages in this journal. The closure is some seam binding, which is quite long, but that can be trimmed down if necessary. I've used one of the cutouts from the paper line with some lovely linen fabrics underneath it and some lovely mother of pearl buttons on the front there as well. So what I will do is insert photos of the actual dies that I've used. It'll just be a little bit easier rather than juggling with a book and dies at the same time. The seam binding is just wrapped around twice, so it's a very long piece of seam binding, but of course that could be trimmed off to there and just tied there. I just like the full look of it, that's all. Okay, so there we go for the front of it. And then like I said, I have done a rounded spine, and it's a hollow spine as well, and I'll put a link in the description box below to the lady where I learnt this method from. I'll put it on the screen now as well, because she has a very easy tutorial and I love the way they lay flat. I have done one like this before as well, and I just really like this method of binding a journal. I have some wallpaper on the inside cover there. That was from Robin Osborne. Thank you, Robin. She recently sent me a gift and it was wrapped in that lovely wallpaper, so I put it there. I have lace going around the edge there, and that was from Rena, and I also have a little bit here from Lynn Harris and a brad just to join the 2 pieces up. I have an envelope here that was from Bonnie and Clive that I recently purchased from her Etsy store. These little things on the front are actually bridge scorer paper that I found thrifting a little while ago, so I've popped that in there. There's lots of sewing in this journal. This pocket here is actually like the one of the dies I cut out, and this is like the, you know, the cutout piece that it left behind, if that makes any sense. And these images are also from the paper collection. Alright, so that is the number 1. I did receive some number dies. Now, I'm not overly convinced it actually goes well in this journal, because the style is just a different style to what I would prefer to use, but they don't look bad. So I've put them in, and I've just gone around the outside very haphazardly with the Wink Stella Gold pen, which I'm loving. So I will just go through what is also from the paper collection. This little bit here is, what do they call it? Like the negative of the die. So I've just used that as a little tuck there. Buttons. There's another one of the die. That is the large flower die. I did it in a very light color because it's kind of a modern die cut, so I've just put it on that page with a sequin, and it cut very nicely. I will let you know. What I did with one of the dies, I liked it so much that I used one that didn't quite cut right, and I used it to stencil on some of the pages, so I really like that effect as well. There is one of the die cut pieces there as well, and that's from the frame set. And these pictures here are actually ceramic pottery decals. Quite some time ago, and I have actually more than this. These are the blue ones that I pulled out. Over time I have found a lot of ceramic decals, and I was always curious how they would go putting them in journals, and they work really well. Once they're completely dry, there is a little bit of a shine to it, but you can go and sand that. I'm not overly fussed. I don't think it looks too bad at all. And the images are really, really pretty. So keep your eye out for ceramic decals, because they sell them so cheap. It doesn't have, like, you know, you can get bags for just 50 cents because they're not current. So okay, so this is from the paper collection also, and this one here is actually a magnet, and that is from the frames collection, the die cut that I used. It's like that, and I've just made that into a little magnet to hold that on, and also just a little envelope on the other side. I used these, oh, they're really strong, these tiny little magnets here, and for Australian ladies interested in finding some of those, I will put a link to those in the description box below also, because they are from Australia. There's another one of the die cuts there. And most of the die cuts cut really, really well. There were a couple of dies that when I get to them, I will explain about them. I made such a mess making this book. I had stuff everywhere. So we have a doily there, and I have a bit of tissue paper decoupage to the inside of it. That's from Witchcraft Do You Do. This is one of the dies. It's the actual frame die. I absolutely love that die. The only problem with that die is there are no little holes to push it out. You know, on the reverse side of the die, you can normally push it out with a pin to get it to release. So you definitely have to use a little bit of wax paper on that die, because there are no holes to push it out. But I love that die, and it did cut very, very well. This is a little pocket, and I just have a little index card in there. There's the rest of that frame there, just to finish that off. And that is the same one as I used for a stencil. I found a lot of my pages had circles, probably used a muffin tin when I dyed the paper. So it kind of worked out well, because there's a lot of circular dies in this book. This is a flower from that same one that I used on the page back here. This one here, and I found it kind of came in pieces. It wasn't what I expected, but I think that's just from my inexperience of ordering dies. I kind of think they're back to front. I don't know why, but I'll explain that in a moment. This is another one from the frame die. I thought it worked well to put the little ones in there, just for extra special notes that you might have. There's a little pocket here with a wallpaper journal card in there. This, I absolutely love this die as well. It comes together with a small heart die. Both work perfectly fine. They release very nice, and they cut very nice. That's part of the paper collection. Journal card there. Absolutely love that one. It's very pretty. Another one of that Floral Border die, another decal. These are the photo album pouches. I think I mentioned that on another video. It's an old photo album, and I've just put an insert into the journal there. That one has a tag, just so you can see that you can put ephemera or anything. I didn't fill all the pockets because I think it's important to have pockets that you can put things in as well. This is another, it's like the negative of the die, and I just love the shape it left. It just works perfectly as a tab. So I've used the negatives as tabs as well, and that's from the frame die set. Just put some beautiful bling, and I have made a little dangle here, and I've used one of the paper beads from Michelle and just added some gold beads as well. And there's another one from that frame die set. I really do like that die set. There's another number 2. More decals. That's one of the circle frame dies. That one's got the love hearts on it. Wallpaper pocket with just a couple of journal cards in there as well. And under there, that's another one of the frame dies that I've used to just decorate the front of that little pouch. This is the circle die. Works perfectly well. It has little X's and hearts going all the way around it. It's really, really nice. So I've used those for little journal cards, and I've also, that's the other part of that larger heart die set, and it works perfectly well. It's really nice. It cuts really nice, and it makes the sweetest little pockets. Just some scraps and things. There's another one of the flowers from the border die, a little journal pocket. They're all backed in tea-dyed paper. I'm using my daughter's old sewing machine at the moment because I'm using a lot of paper and the thread mucked up, and so I thought, oh, we'll use that. You know, usually you pull all that out, but I like the effect it gave, so I left it there. Just some seam binding and some little circles that I used cut out from the die, and I've just popped them in the center of that signature. Look how nice and flat this type of book binding sits. It's just really nice. You can write on any page. There's another one of the frame dies, and I did make some samples up that I will show you in a moment. Some lace, some scraps, and there's another, that's the smaller circle in the center there from the die cut set. Another of the hearts, another of pearl buttons. That's another one of the frame dies, the inserts. That's the other part of the heart. I'll move a bit quicker. This is number 3, and that's the number. All the numbers cut perfectly fine. It's another one of the flower border. Okay, there's another circle in there, and what I did was I just used the smaller circle as the template to make the arch for the top of my tag there, and it fits in there. Now this is the square frame die, and it was a little bit wide for my page, so I did trim a little bit of the decoration off each side so it would fit, but I really love that die. I think it's beautiful. That's the one that unfortunately doesn't have little holes to push it through, but like I said, if you wax your die, it will come out no problem whatsoever. And this is the other circle frame die, and I've used it on this pocket. What I did was I used a little I used the circle dies to make the hole in the pocket, and I've made like a little vinyl record to go in there with some journaling space on the back there. That's the smaller die cut circle, the same as what I used to cut this hole out, and it fits perfectly with these circle frames. And that flower there is also from the Floral Border die set as well, and that just fits in there. On the other side I used one of the circle frame pieces and just decorated the back of that. Like I said, all the circles, it seems to be a running theme. Some lovely linen. I think Gail, Father of Four, sent that to me a while ago. Another doily, another pocket here with another index card inside. Actually, it's not, they're meant to look like index cards, but it's made from a file folder that's been tea stained. So there's the other side there. Some buttons. There's the linen, more stenciling, and there's the other side of the little vinyl record as well. And I really like the way they turned out. I think they're quite sweet and they're fun. Why aren't you going in? There we go. And a couple of tags from the collection there as well. And scraps. This is part of that a floral frame. I just fit it where I could, and I've made a journaling card in there as well that fits into. The paper pack is just beautiful, and there's one of the dies from the frame set. Another decal, number 4, a frame once again for those extra notes that you want to stand out. You just put it in a little frame. Flower. There's one of those frame pieces. They look like spools, I thought. I will show you a sample of the others shortly. That's one of the frame pieces that I made. Now, what I did find that it did not come with this larger outer piece, and this is where I'm showing my inexperience. I think I look at a die set and I think it's going to be one way, and I'm kind of seeing it in reverse. But all I did was I put the die, the actual metal die down on a piece of paper and traced around it and made my own little outer piece for it. There, just another cutout of the circle dies as well. And there's another one of those gorgeous corner pieces and a journal card. More stenciling. They work very nicely as stencils. Just another tuck spot in there from the circle die. That one's got some love hearts in the center, just to finish the center of that signature off. There's the Floral Border die once again. Just another tuck spot and a wallpaper journal card there. More of the frame dies, bit of decoupage. Just a lovely little shell flower on that charm with some beads. Another one of those pockets from Bonnie and Clive, and once again using the outside of one of the die cuts and one of the circle dies in there just to add to that. More decals. Another one of these pockets using the negative for the frame to make my tab. Another little paper bead on that charm that I've made using some of my own gold beads as well. decoupage tag. That's also like got writing space on the back. And like I said, I'm using my daughter's machine and it does skip stitches, but I really don't care about that when I'm making journals, because I think it actually makes it look nice and shabby. There's a number 5 signature, just one of the frames down the bottom there. That's the circle frame. Just made a little tab at the top there. One of the frame little flourishes from the frame set, a bit of decoupage. And some washi tape, another little journal spot with the circle dies, and there's the lovely little love heart die, and from the Floral Border die there. Another decal, some more stenciling, some collage, another doily. We have our last index card there in that pocket. I just made pockets in the center of the signature to put those in. Keeps the center nice and tidy. Once again, I've used that frame piece to finish that off. Another decal, another lovely piece of trim, and that was from Michelle. Thank you, Michelle. Little pocket made from some wallpaper from Rena, and a couple of journal cards in there, and that one made from the circle die. That's from the paper collection also, just a little dress form in that little love heart die pocket. A bit of collage, more collage and washi tape. Another wallpaper pocket there with some more journal tags as well. And we're almost there. That's the circle frame die there. Lovely bit of lace with some sequins, and that's our back page. Wallpaper once again, the trim's going around the edge. And this one has a little pocket in there if you want to put something in. And that is the end of the journal, and I'm quite happy with how it turned out. It took me longer than I expected because I haven't made one for quite some time, so you know, it's usually the case, isn't it? They just always take a little bit longer than what you think they're going to. Now just let me show you these samples that I made. So these are the frame sets. This is one of them. And that's how it turns out, and it works perfectly well. But like I said before, it only comes with the inside pieces. It does not come with the larger piece. So you can see I traced around the actual metal die, the largest part of the die. I traced around that and made my own background. So, you know, I didn't know that's how it was going to be, but that's it's a simple fix. So that's one of them. And then this one here, and this is also from the frame, and I did use this a few times in the journal. I also use this decorative scroll work here, and I think it's lovely on the pages and things, but that's how the die comes. And once again, I traced the back part of it myself, so it doesn't come with that large outer piece, which I thought it did, but there we go. So there's that one there, and then also this one, and this is the one I was going to use. I thought it would look nice on the spine of a journal, and that's how that turns out, and it's really, really pretty. But once again, making my own outer piece for that, and it is a lovely die, but I think it didn't work for this particular one because the width was wrong. You would have to kind of have it that part in the center and then have these part on the front. So it was just the wrong width, but I will use it at some stage on a journal, because I just think perhaps on a one signature journal, you know, like a soft cover that you just have like that without any like gullies or anything like that to worry about. So that's how that one turned out. Really, really pretty die cut. And also I just want to mention with there was one particular die that didn't work, and that is this one here. That part of it worked. I will put a photo of the particular die I'm talking about. That part worked, which is fine, and that part worked, which is fine as well. But there was another piece that didn't work. For some reason, the other piece, it only cut parts of it out. So there's obviously an error with part of this die set. So, but I will be letting In Love Art Shop know that. But I did try them. All the words worked really well. Now these are all the things I've cut out for the memory decks cards, but I haven't made it yet, because this took so long to make that I'm going to have to make this into a different video and put it up next week, I think. So I will make memory decks cards with those and put those up next week, and just stay with the journal for this particular video. So I hope you like what I've made, and I hope you understood what I was talking about with all the dies that I showed you as well. So thank you so much for watching, and thank you In Love Art Shop for sending the dies to me and letting me play with them. I did enjoy it. It is all a learning experience for me at the moment, but I'm getting a little bit better, I would think. So okay, take care everybody. Bye bye.